Okay, welcome to Inside Soccer episode 4. This week I'm absolutely delighted to introduce my next guest. It's Kiko Rodriguez, dad of Jay Rodriguez, Premier League football, England international. And what we're going to do is have a chat with Kiko in relation to the journey really from a parent's perspective, coming through the academy and into Premier League football and obviously getting to England recognition. And just to tap into Kiko's experiences of what, you know, he felt around that and what it takes and what sort of experiences you had. So welcome, Kiko. Hope you're keeping all right.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
thank
not
you.
too bad. Not so bad at all, Kiko. So first question for you. I want you to take you back to the start of it all, when Jay first entered the academy. What was going through your mind as a parent at that stage?
Well, with Jay, obviously started at 10-year-old at Burnley Football Club, and it weren't an academy then. They used to call it School of Excellence. So it wasn't as detailed as what it is now. They had a lot of kids there, and like I said, they used to play on a Sunday morning, but he couldn't play for his local team anymore once he signed for Burnley. So that was a tough decision because he missed out a little bit with his friends playing that football, but end of the day, he wanted to play at Burnley at 10-year-old. So he started there at 10, and then he went through the years, and then I think he was about 14 and 15. He got chosen to go and play for England on a week's camp, and there were people like Fabian Brandy there, etc., from Man United, and that was a good experience for him. They didn't play any games, but it was just like a week's camp with England. And then at 16, he got offered a scholar. And again, as a family, we didn't know whether we were going to get a scholarship. So it was really tough, you know, because you're thinking, what's he going to do? So he did his scholarship, and then once he got his scholar again, he got a year's pro, and then he moved on from there going forward.
Yeah. So in that group, Kiko, was, you know, when Jay got his scholar, how many kind of got it alongside Jay? How many did they take on as apprentices?
Well, that year, nobody, just Jay.
Oh wow.
Like I say, I think me and Carol are lucky parents really, because we've gone through the emotions, what other parents are going through. So even though he got his scholar and then he got his pro, etc., you're still going through the same emotions. What if we don't get that? What if we got ready? You know, has he wasted his time? So you worried as a parent, you're worried all the time. So I do feel for these parents, they coming through going, oh, he's going to get a scholarship, and then if we don't get one, what do we do? It's really tough. It is tough.
Yeah. Were you the type of parent, Kiko, who followed Jay everywhere, like through his grassroots and into Burnley? Were you watching every game that he kind of was involved with as much as you could?
As much as I could, yeah. You know, through grassroots, you know, and then obviously when he went to Burnley, you know, I went to most games when I could, and then every Sunday near enough, and then you know you just go and watch if you can, because. But the hardest bit is listen, I was one of them parents when Jay was like 9, 10-year-old. I was one of them where I was shouting and bawling and and I wanted him to be the best, and I wanted and he basically just said, like, you know, as a 10-year-old, he said, Dad, you know, let me play football. It's you know, you're making me panicky type of thing. And I'll be honest with you, when he said that, from that day I never said a word, and his game just grew. You know, we should talk at home like I think any parent would, but when you were at Burnley at the time, they were very strict. When you went to watch a game, you couldn't say anything, and I thought that was really good, because we just stood there and watched, and it was the managers and coaches what said everything. So it is tough. Seriously, if anybody said it's easy, it's tough for the player, because he don't know whether he's going to get anything. But I do feel for the parents, because they want the best for the kid. And some, as you know yourself, Alan, is how many kids is there who don't get a scholarship? And then they're like, what do we do? And I just think they need help. You know, they need advising, they need talking to, they need education. Me personally, because that's what I've learned over years. Because, like I said, I've been the lucky one that I've had my son go through it, but made it. But I've still gone through it exactly the same as anybody else who hasn't made it.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking, Kiko, isn't it? Because like, mate, I follow my son. Yeah, you just want them to do well, don't you? Every time they play, every time they train, you just, as a parent, you're just hoping for, them to put the performances in, and that's not easy. There's a lot of demands on them. But did you have like a playing background, Kiko? Was you kind of like, get to a decent level, or?
Yeah, I mean, I did okay. I played like non-league for a long time. Played like at Burnley United, Burnley Bank Hall, Bay Cup, Rosendale, places like that. Went into Burnley twice when I were 18, I think I was, first one. My attitude worked round for it. I weren't. I was just one of them boys, I think, at the time where I thought I was going to be the best thing since Lansbury, but it never happened.
But were you a forward like Jay? Were you like a sort of forward player?
I played centre forward, yeah.
Centre forward, yeah. Oh, brilliant.
And then basically they released me. Basically, I didn't do anything really at the time. But then obviously I got married pretty young, at 20. We had Jay at 21. I was playing football. I was a bit more grown up. Burnley asked me to go back down. So I went back down, trained for a week or so, played a fair few games at reserves then in the Pontins League. And then they offered me a contract. And what I know now, I should have said yes. But because I just had Jay, I was working, getting a little bit of spending money from football, the money wasn't the best. But what I know now, I should have believed in my own ability and took the money and tried my best to move on.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not an hypocrite, but I do say to people now is, no matter what they offer you now, believe in your own ability and go and smash it, because if you're good enough, they'll come and get you.
Just want to ask you, Kiko, in relation to, like, I've spoken to quite a few parents in relation to having players in certain academies, different clubs, and but it's almost like they always see the glamorous side of football, don't they? Like the money's ridiculous, isn't it, if you can get to the top levels? But from your perspective, what does academy professional football feel like from a parent's perspective? Did you ever think, well, if Jay gets here, he can get this, or was it just enjoy what you're doing, enjoy your playing?
No, I mean, when Jay was going through ranks as a 10-year-old right through, of course, as a parent, of course I wanted Jay to be a professional footballer, and my dream would be for Jay to be a professional footballer. But I didn't know where it was going. If that's what you're asking, I didn't know, when he got his first year at Burnley. To be fair, I was a bit surprised that he got it, because there were some good players what got released. Yeah. But they're saying something. What they said basically was he's got a bit of a footballer's brain. We can work with it. His attitude's good. Yeah. So that they said they can work with that. But even then, I didn't think he was going to do what he did. Even when he got his second contract at Burnley, and he played a cup games here, there, and everywhere, I was still thinking, God, is he going to really get into the first team?
Yeah.
It was only till he got into the first team, and then he started like being, I don't know, a bit more mature in himself, where I think he believed in himself that he was going to be he is a footballer now.
Yeah.
That's when I think I really started thinking, hang on a minute, this is for real now.
Yeah. So what league were in? What league were Burnley in, Kiko, when Jay came through?
Championship.
Yeah. So a good level straight away, wasn't it, coming into a tough league?
But like I said, he played a few reserved games, and then what's it called? Steve Potwell gave him his first contract.
Yeah.
And then obviously Steve left not so long after, I don't think. And then I think Owen Coyle come in.
Yeah.
Was it Owen? I think it was Owen Coyle. And Owen Coyle asked him if he would go out on loan up Stirling.
Yeah.
And he went up there for 3 months, but it made him into a man.
Yeah.
He was only 18, and it made him into a man, and he come back a different person.
Yeah.
Because he was playing first team football. And he brought what he learned up there back to Burnley, and then he was playing the cup games, etc. at Burnley. And when they went to Premiership, he never made the Premiership debut under Owen Coyle, sorry. It's when they got relegated, and then what was his name? Oh, he was manager. Brian Laws.
Oh yeah,
Brian Laws coming back into the Premier. They got relegated, and then Jay was still there, and they played against QPR when they're in Championship, and Ross Wallace got injured, and Brian Laws said, "Look, you get yourself on at left."
Yeah, amazing.
And he went on left early doors, and that was his proper game. And he never lost his position after that.
Yeah, fantastic. Because I know, like the data is like ridiculous. You know, just sort of picking up on your point before about Jay was the only one who got apprenticeship.
Yeah,
like to get a debut in the Premier League, I think it's something like there's that figure, isn't there? 0.012% of players will ever get there. Well, it's like unbelievable, isn't it? When you consider that to achieve that is absolutely brilliant.
It is. It's ridiculous, really.
So what would you say, Kiko, were toughest moments, like from your perspective, from a parent's perspective, seeing Jay come through the academy, get into his professional contract situations and then make his debut? What were toughest emotionally for yourself?
What, up to there? Or
just up to that point sort of thing, yeah.
Up to that point or to this present point?
Up to that point, when you kind of started getting in.
Yeah, up to then was... You were still always worried whether he were going to be okay, and is he going to manage football? Is he going to go down the wrong path? I know it's silly, but the footballers have got time on their hands, and even though they do work hard, be fair, they do work hard on that training ground. They do some hours, but they still got time, and and they want, some players want the flashy stuff and things like that, and we just have to keep him grounded still a little bit, just, because we all kept saying to him, it's a short career, and if you do get the biggest contracts going forward, you've still got to put stuff away because it's a short career, and you don't know what's right corner. So that was the tough bit as a parent, thinking, can we keep him on that road where he's still dedicated, still happy, still, so that was the hard bit. But to be fair, he's a sensible lad, so we were pretty lucky that way.
Yeah. Do you think that's a big problem for younger players, especially that they might have a tendency to get too much too young? Some of the players coming through at the moment, say at 17, Premier League player, you get your first contract, 5 years, you can be a millionaire, Kiko, straight away, can't you? Do you think that can be a challenge for a young player?
It can be, because it's not their fault. I mean, if someone said to me, here's £5 million today, I ain't going to say no, but you say you manage it, and who helps them, and it's not just the player what needs managing, it's families as well, because we were getting a bit panicky about it, or when Jay were getting his contracts, we were like thinking, oh my God, what's he going to do? So you were just constantly thinking all the time. So I've no issue with me that these players are getting millions of pounds if that's what they've been offered, because it's, they're not going to say no to it. It's how do they deal with it as a family? Get the proper advice, ask questions, and don't jump into something straight away. Always, ask questions. That's what I do all the time. I'm always asking questions.
Yeah. So did you have any idea at the time, Kiko, in relation to, and obviously you went into we'll talk about some of the stuff that you're doing at the moment, but when kind of Jay was going in to discuss his contract, did like any of the family, did yourself, Carol, have anything to say to you, or was it just all himself and his agent sort of thing?
Yeah, we never got involved. That side of it, we never went into the meetings and that. But it's important that me and his mum and not obviously his brother was too young, but we knew what was going on. We knew what. We weren't bothered about we weren't bothered about the financial. That's his business. But we wanted to understand what was coming out of his wages, what were he getting paid, etc. How long is it? 2 year, 1 year? We wanted to know that. Yeah. So it's important that the parents, if they're still living at home, by the way, is that they get to know these things, because and then they feel comfortable that, well, hang on a minute, yeah, he's got a 2 year deal. He's going to be okay, and them little things. We never went into a football team, into a club, and sat down with him. But let the agent and the player do that.
Yeah, 100%, Kiko. So did you find that when Jay was kind of getting into the Premier League situation and he was starting to make his debut in there and he started to get a run of games, did anything change? Did you feel as though people were looking at Jay differently? Did he have more expectations on him? What was the feelings from a parent around that, Kiko?
No. To be fair, my friends or the families who still know who sons was at Burnley at the same time he got released, they were brilliant. You know, they understand that end of the day it's a job, and he managed to keep that job. And again, I'll say this: I'm pretty lucky that I live in Burnley. You know, people treat him like a normal person, and he treats them as normal. You know, you don't go around look at me type of thing. It's like higher, and the people are pretty, you know, the genuine people, and that's what I like about it is he's not one of them what look at me and I've got the, and you know, if you didn't know him, you wouldn't know he was a footballer. That's what I like about it is he's down to earth. He knows where it's come from. We know where we've come from, and we appreciate it. And that's what I think is important, that you stay grounded no matter what level you play at.
Yeah, it's brilliant advice, Kiko. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely brilliant stuff. So in relation to Jay coming in, so he's got into the Premier League, he started to sort of get a little bit of recognition. His career's going in the right direction. Did you have any, as a family, any disappointments to deal with? Did Jay pick any injuries up? Did he have any deselection experiences, or he didn't get on with managers and stuff like that, and anything like that? And how did you deal with that?
Well, in general, wherever club he went to, he seemed to get on with managers. Yes, he got picked, he got dropped, he got taken off, he got put on, he was an hero, and then not an hero. That's football.
Yeah.
And I think my background, not at that level, but my background in football is I understand that you can't really say, oh, well, you know, why's he not playing? It's just it depending what manager's in, or end of the day, it's how he performs. If he's performing well, he's playing.
Yeah.
But if he's not playing. But the hardest bit for us was in 2014. Playing against Man City. I were in the crowd. And I'll never forget it. Jack Court, we played for Burnley. Jack Court put a ball for Southampton, sorry. He's put a ball up at top. Jay's gone up at air. No one round him. Went up at air, come down, bang, went down. It's crucial. So as a parent, then it was like, oh, he's down. Someone's not right. Blah blah blah. So we ended up going down to Southampton with him. Went to hospital, etc. Had the operation. Hey, you sit back and, you know, and like Jay said, look, it's football. We get injured. My new job now is to get fit in 9 months' time. That's my new job. So as family, we backed him. You know, what do you want? Do you need anything? And do you want carrying? Do you want your coffee passing over type of thing? So you go back to proper mum and dad again. Even though you were married, girlfriend or whatever, you still becomes a bit different then, because obviously the football goes away. Your son's injured. You've got to still look after him somehow.
Yeah.
But the hardest bit of that was, and I think maybe people know, people may not know, is he weren't far from coming back from playing, and he could feel something in his knee, you know, nothing major. So they got it checked out. So they injected and they drained it for him or whatever they do. What happened then was his knee kept swelling up. He got an infection in his knee after the cruciate. So they had to find out what the issue were. And cut a long story short, he ended up in intensive care. Lost all his weight, lost all his aim. It was just pale. He just really thin, and they basically found the infection on his pins from the operation, and that was 9 months after.
Wow.
So Jay again then got out of that, recovered from it. Then as parents, we weren't bothered about football. All we wanted our son to walk again and just be normal. Football had gone. We thought that was finished. We thought that was it. We're not interested. We just wanted our son back because it was awful to see. And he worked hard and he got back, but that was another 8 months, or he was out for like 16 months here. And and not because of the injury, it was the illness, the infection what he got. So as family, then we thought, wow, this could be the end of it. It could be, he could have lost his leg.
Yeah.
So everything puts everything in perspective. Then you think, well, hang on a minute, forget football, forget what he's got. We just want to sum back. So that was the hardest bit.
Yeah, so even something from innocuous is like going up for a challenge, just falling down. Like it's mad, isn't it? Sometimes that led to all that. And
no one near him. He just went up and come down. You know, he went to foul or anything. So and that was his first major injury, really.
Yeah, incredible. So how did you feel from a parent, Kiko? Probably absolutely. I can't probably explain the emotion when Jay got an England cap.
Oh. When he got that cap, I just thought, is he serious? I mean, he rung me and I said, are you serious? And he went, yeah. It was just, I don't know, it was just so quick. Again, you know, I mean, the time were brilliant. The media were really good about it, you know, and we went down to watch him, you know, and just him walking out and singing the anthem and that. It was just, wow. It was like, if he never does anything again in his life,
yeah.
You know, he's done that, and that's just somebody's dream, is that, you know.
It is. He's like achieved the top of football anyway. You want to get to, yeah.
Unbelievable. Even though they got beat that day, they got hammered. But
So has he got that in pride of place somewhere, Kiko? His England shirt, or
it's all at home. It's all at home. His hat and everything. It's there. You know, he's got a few there where his debut football top. His playoff final top, he's got it all there with medals. So, listen, everyone means a lot to him, and it means a lot to us as a family, really.
Yeah, absolutely, and still doing really well at the moment, Kiko, in relation to like still play. You know, getting to 36 years old and still turning out is like that's an achievement in itself as well, isn't it? Really.
I mean, like I said, I don't think a lot of people know, but last season obviously he played about the last 3 games. He kept having injections in his ankle. They couldn't find what it were. Anyway, they found he had a fracture in his ankle. So he ended up he went to Australia on tour, then he come back and they operated on him. So he's back he's back full training now. I think obviously he's missed out this up to January because of the 25-man squad.
Yeah.
So obviously they're not going to put him in if he's injured, and, you know, rightly so. Don't want to take somebody's place. So, and now he's just ready, hopefully, for January, see what happens in January.
Yeah. So what do you think? It's obviously difficult because obviously Jay will make the decision. But has he got his eyes on something after football, Kiko? Does he fancy coaching, managing? No, not at the moment.
No, I don't think he fancies managing and things like that. I think he wants to be still part of football. But I think what Jay's got a lot to give. Like what he's gone through.
Yeah, absolutely. So lots of advice he can get passed on, can't he?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm at Basic Sports now. I do a lot of recruitment for them, etc. You know, I talk to young families and talk to young footballers, even senior footballers. You know, but Jay wants to be a part of it because he's been with him for 14 years before, and they've been fantastic. They've been fantastic with him. You know, they said what they were going to do. So as a parent, we were happy.
Yeah.
But he wants to give something back. So, you know, he must probably become an ambassador, or even, you know, someone who'll meet people and explain how it works, football, where when you're young, you're going to get upset. You're not going to be upset. You're going to be happy. And he's been there and done it, you know, and then go through his injury where mentally you've got to be strong about it, because, I mean, it didn't happen to me, and I was struggling with it. It happened to him, but he got through it. If you understand what I'm saying, it was hard. It's hard. So I think Jay wants to give something back to football, that side of it.
Yeah, maybe to the younger, like you say, the younger players coming through the game.
But even senior players, you know, because I know senior players talk to him now because they respect him because of what he's done and how he is, you know, and he'll tell them the truth as well, you know. He said, you know, you know, they might say to him, "Oh, fed up, man, I'm not playing." He might turn around and say, "Well, I think you might have to step it up a bit." Yeah. Or he might say, "Yeah, you're doing well. I think you need to go and speak to somebody."
Yeah.
But Jay won't go around the houses and say, "Oh, don't worry about it." He'll just say, "No, you're not performing. That's why you're not playing."
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, it's pretty straight that way.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair, that, isn't it? So, just touching on that point, Kiko, do you think, like, obviously Jay's had a full career, football career. From a mental side, you know, you've got to have that element of, you've just said it, you can't afford to sulk, can you? You can't afford to mourn. You've got to like take what comes and try and get, I suppose, get some sense out of it, haven't you? Meaning out of it.
It is. Listen, I'm not saying Jay don't sulk and mourn.
Yeah.
He most probably can sulk more than anybody, but it's how he deals with it.
Yeah.
It's how you deal with it. I mean, I do feel sorry for some football players. Well, you know, them who are nearly there, or they get there and then they get dropped and then they get moved over it, especially when they're young. You know, I mean, if you look at this, you know, you could live in Burnley, yeah, and Southampton at 17 sign you, yeah, but they've got families in Burnley there who are working.
Yeah.
So how are they? They can't keep going down every Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday because. So how they? That's where they need support. They need people around them there, you know, and the parents need people around them because they've got questions to ask, but they can't. You know, I can't keep asking Carol, and Carol can't keep asking me because we give each other the same answers.
Yeah.
So it's important that they have people around them. It's massive, and me sulking. Yeah, listen, they can sulk all day, and I get it. I do understand it. But if they don't talk, they're going to end up going in sulking, and they end up going into that shell. If they need to talk, whether it's something silly,
Yeah.
like, you know, everybody, you know, in my digs, you know, they give me this coffee and it's not right coffee. Right, if that's the issue, let's get you the coffee what you want. Don't hold it in, you know, don't keep anything in, because I think it's the worst thing you can ever do is keep something in, especially as a young footballer.
Oh, without a doubt, because I think if you keep something in, it starts to fester, doesn't it? And
it changes.
It affects your performance and your training and stuff like that. I don't know if there's something on your mind and that you're not as sharp, are you? And
100%.
Yeah. So just to sort of pick up on that, Kiko, you know, like obviously you've gone into your role at the moment. So what is it kind of like? Because I know I spoke to you a couple of days ago and you said I've got a slightly different role now and I kind of look out for younger players. So can you tell us a little bit about like what you do?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I were an intermediary, I'm an agent, you know, over years. You know, I've got senior players, etc. But obviously, what I do now is I work for Basics now, Basics Sports. They've given me an opportunity. So basically, what I do now is I go and meet young footballers or parents and see what support they need, you know, and then they can go and meet Basics and then Basics can go through what they do, I support, because it's not just about them, oh, we'll get you a contract, we're going to do this. It's not about that. It can't be. It's going to be, what can we give that family?
Mm-hmm.
The senior player, we meet a senior player, yeah. What can we give you around you? You know, you're looking for a house, you know, all right, you're on good money, so you go somewhere and someone says, yeah, we'll help you, but it's 10 grand for that. Well, actually, it's not 10 grand because next door neighbour only pay 500 quid. Yeah. So you've got to treat these footballers and families just like anybody else. Because some of them earn good money, it doesn't mean that they need to give more money out.
Yeah.
They need to be so it's about play care, it's about supporting them, and it's about guarding them. Like basically, what I try. I mean, I'll be an hypocrite if I told any other parent anything different what I've just told you.
Yeah.
Because I'll be lying to them. You know, you can't promise them the earth. You can't promise them that they're going to do this, they're going to do that. What you can promise is that you'll be there for them when they're good and bad.
Yeah.
And me first, I think, as a company, whether it's Basics or anywhere else, even in general, don't matter being football, is if somebody's going through a bad patch, that's when they need it. That's when they need you.
Yeah. Because I think football, Kiko, I've been sort of around football for a while myself, but in a slightly different way. And I don't know, in my humble opinion these days, I think it's very difficult to trust people in football at times because there's so many people offering the earth and we'll do this and we'll do that. And then, as you said, when your tough times come, I disappear, gone.
Yeah,
because you're not in the limelight anymore. You're not doing this, you're not doing that. So I think that element of trust is tough at times, Kiko, isn't it? To find someone like, you know.
It is. And that's why when Jay got his first stage, and like I said, I worked in a normal industry. And he come home and said, Dad, I signed with an agent. I'm going, me? Yeah, well done, son. Big boy now, yeah. 2 years later, he got done over.
Yeah.
Right? So as a dad, I felt like I let him down big time. I thought, oh my God, what have I done? You know. Anyway, we got it all sorted. But I said to Jay, from now on, anybody approaches you to come and see me with you. Yeah. So we met loads of agents, loads of companies. Some are good. Some offer me to buy me new houses, new cars, and that. And I'm sat there thinking, that's fine. But eventually, Jay giving you that money to give me, so it's pointless. So to me, that never sold it me.
Yeah.
But when I met Gary Mellor at Bezix, wow, I swear, this is where I've learned as well. We didn't need to ask any questions. It was weird. It was so weird. We didn't need to really ask any questions. He told us what he was going to do, how we were going to do it, and how we were going to support, etc. Blah, 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 blah. And then, okay, we asked a few questions. 14 years on, it's never changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything what Gary said he'd try and help with JW. Everything what he said to Jay, it's impossible. He told him. He never hid anything. He just said either yes or no. Yeah. So it basically everything what we wanted. And that's why that's why I like Gary, and he's got a great team behind him. He's got Nick Phillips there, partner now, unbelievable guys. John, who's been there for a long time. Tim been there for a long time. And they're all the same. That's absolutely all the same, and they're straight.
Yeah.
Just be honest.
Yeah.
So that's why since I've been with them now that's why if we get contacted, say for example, and say, look, can you have us out with representation, blah, 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 blah. 9 times out of 10, I'll say, well, can I meet the family first? Because we know the player, we've seen the player, and it can be a bit intimidating, sat there. The player, we are sat there and we're talking and they play good. But I'd rather speak to the families first, no matter what age they are, senior, whatever. If that's what they want, we'll speak to families because they're the ones who's always going to be there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we do meet the player, we don't tell them any different because the families are still there with them, and they say, well, basically, yeah, that's what he told us. So what I'm trying to do is, I'm not saying it's all yours to do it, but it's just make sure that everybody gets looked after. But the important thing for me is, if you're going to take somebody on, you've got to take the bad as well with it.
Yeah.
If they get injured, it's not their fault. But they might be out for 9 months. Well, I think that's when they need you. Someone to talk to, someone to shout at.
Yeah.
I'm on a downer. I'm sick of this.
Yeah.
I
always felt that, like myself as a young player, like going back many, many years now, like it's difficult to come to say things to the right people at times, but you do need them. Like I wouldn't have never dreamed on knocking on Fergie's door and saying, why am I not in the team? Or Eric Harrison was my youth team manager, and Eric was quite kind of like a sergeant major style of coach. I'd have never gone to Eric and say, I'm struggling a bit at the moment. Can you help me with it? It wouldn't happen, Kiko, honestly.
No. But I say to that, even Jay or players or young players, I say to them, if you want to ask a question, ask it correctly. Yeah. So when you knock on the manager's door, you're not going in going, what's point? I can't see any point to that. But if you knock on the door and say to the gaffer or whatever he'd say, what do I need to do to get into your team? I'm sure they'll give you an answer. Yeah. You might not like the answer, but you're going to get an answer. Because if you start knocking on anybody's door and you're disrespecting people, eventually they're going to go, you mate, off, you're out, go. Yeah. No matter how good you are. So always ask the right question, and it's going to be for a purpose,
Yeah. So what age groups do you kind of get involved with, Kiko? What is it? It's like 16 plus? Are you kind of speaking to young apprentices or a bit older?
16 plus, obviously, it's the parents mainly I talk to. I don't really want to talk to the young level because I don't want to put any pressure on them because at the end of the day they've got to meet the team at Bezix anyhow, officially. But I just want to meet parents and explain how we can support, etc. That's if they need it. They might turn around and say, look, we don't want anybody, and I get it. Huh? I get it. Hey, look, people don't want, if they don't want it, I get it, because some people don't want it.
Yeah.
But but again, we do like 16 right up to seniors. I mean, like basically they've got an agency over in Belgium, in America. They've got players everywhere, and we've got a really good team. And the good thing about it is, when a player comes, to Basics, they've got the agent, but they've got the sports lawyer, they've got the solicitor, they've got player care, they've got everybody.
Yeah.
So it's not just like, oh well, do I just work for him? No, you work. You don't work for us. We work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for some reason footballers think, well, I work for that agency. No, you don't. You work for the football club. The agency work for you. Yeah. No agency should ever say to a player, "Oh, just take a shot all the time." You don't coach them, because they get paid from a manager who coaches them. So we want to be the ones what are outside of that, what we can do away from football as much as the football.
Yeah, 100%, Kiko. So that last couple of questions for you.
Yeah.
So I think I'd just like to ask you, like, if you was to go in front of academy parents now, like thinking of your journey with Jay and coming through, any advice, Kiko, that you can pass backwards to parents of young academy players who may be just starting off in the academy, under 9s, under 10s? What would be your advice? Because you've seen your son achieve Premier League status, England recognition, so you're in an absolute prime position to offer that advice.
My advice would be, I think I mentioned it earlier, don't be the parent what, because you want your son to do the best, or your daughter now because they play football, is let them enjoy it. You enjoy it, because when I was like that, I wasn't enjoying it, because I wanted him to be the best. And when he made a mistake, I was like, oh, yeah. Because parents will tell you this, I'm sure they will, if they've had not a good game, straight away they get in the car, they go, what did Gaffer say? What did manager say? Because you want them to be the best. So my advice would be is go down that journey with him. Yeah. When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, but you're all together. Because you do that anyhow in general as parents. Yeah. The football side of it is just a bit extra. But the main thing for me I would say is enjoy it. Enjoy that journey. Because one, you don't know when it's going to end. And I mean, listen, I hope it never ends for these young ones. But like you said, there's 92 teams in that football league. They've all got academies. They've all got development squads.
Yeah.
I mean, you see coming through. There's not a lot. So, they disappear somewhere. Some don't want to play football again. Some will go down a non-league route and then work their way back up, because a lot of people are doing that now. But as a young footballer, when I say young, 9, 10, 11, 12, as a parent, they all need to enjoy it. Just do it with a smile on your face, because, some of these parents, I've been there, but they're going out in snow watching them. They're right there in rain. They'll do anything to go and watch the kid, and rightly so, because they love that kid and the kid loves the parents. So, but just enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'd just say enjoy it now. You at that age, enjoy it.
Yeah. So sorry, Kiko, I know you mentioned this early on in this kind of the interview, but what age was Jay when he kind of first started in School of Excellence?
10-year-old.
10, so quite young, wasn't he? Like quite young, really.
I think it was we're too young. I think it is too young. But when you, that's one thing I can't advise, is I can't say to somebody, oh, don't go and enjoy your grassroots, because they might miss I don't know, they might miss an opportunity. I don't know. That's one thing I can't answer.
Yeah.
But I do think it's young.
Yeah.
I do, but I do get it why they have them in there as parents, because they're thinking, well, if I don't send them now, what happens when he gets to like 13, 14, somebody else might take a shot. I get that. So I found that hard to advise anybody, to say to them, don't go down that route at that age.
Because there's young and young, isn't there? Like I'm sure it's ridiculous. I mean, all these unders,
I've seen them 6, 7 year olds. I've seen things like that.
Yeah.
That's, to me, that's one thing I would say is too young on that side of it.
I think the FA kind of followed like the Spanish model or the Dutch model or something. Why all that's coming? It's Kiko, they're petrified and missing something, aren't they? You know what I mean?
But what see what I get petrified is we've got some good English footballers here at whatever level, you can, no matter. We've got some good footballers, but they don't make it.
Yeah.
Not sometimes no fault of their own. They go and buy somebody from Spain, Italy, France. You know, and then he's took his spot. Then that's. I think I think we've got some really good footballers here. I think they need to get more opportunities. I really do. I think they need to have more opportunities. Give them more time because there's some kids at 16, 17, unbelievable. Well, you're not big enough. Oh, hang on a minute, it's 16, 17.
Yeah.
And then in 2 years' time, that club's released him. Next thing is play for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Give it. I think you've got to give people time. Either develop some. I mean, some lads at 16, 17 are 6'3", built like whatever. Yeah, are they going to get any bigger?
Yeah.
Possibly not.
Yeah.
But these ones, you can tell they haven't developed properly.
Yeah.
But give them time, because sometimes they can be the ones who get upset and then come away from football and you think, well, you've actually lost a really good player. This country's lost a good player.
Yeah. So last question for you, Kiko, and we'll go the other way. Instead of going backwards, what do you reckon next? Where do you see football next 10 years? Where's it heading? Because it just seems an absolute circus to me at the moment. It's absolutely mad, So what's your thoughts on that?
If we go for Premier League, I think it's always broken into 3 leagues. Yeah, you might get the odd one or two nice surprising people. Like look at Sunderland, unbelievable what they're doing. It's incredible. It's incredible. Really good. And that's what I like to see, different teams.
Yeah.
But a lot of it, I think now it is financial. A lot of it's financial, and some of these smaller clubs are struggling. And then they're getting relegated, and then they get relegated again, and then you think, well, oh God, they used to be in Premiership then.
Yeah.
I think the style of football is changing, but that's what you're asking as well.
Yeah.
I'd rather see the old tackles and 50-50s and let's go for it type of thing. Sometimes the passing side of the game, it's good, but it can get a bit boring. Like I say, it's only my opinion. Some people love it, some people don't. But I think a lot of the football now is getting political as well.
Yeah. I think, like you said there, Kiko, I think some of the lower league sides are really struggling for money at the moment. The money doesn't seem to be filtering down, does it, like anywhere? And
like I say, I don't see behind that scene stuff for some, but it feels like it doesn't get filtered down. I mean, you've got some really small clubs what are doing really well surviving.
Yeah.
We hate fans, and it's not their fault because the area is not big enough. Maybe I don't know. Yeah. But I think everything could be a bit spread a bit more better, I think.
Yeah. Kiko, thanks ever so much for coming on and having a chat about, life as an academy parent, seeing Jay come through and get into professional football, get England recognition. Thanks so much for sharing your experiences, your knowledge, your wisdom around that. And it's been much appreciated. Thank you.
You're welcome, Alan. Absolutely great speaking to you again.
Thank you, Kiko.
All right. Cheers. Thank you.